So we went house hunting. We ended up going and seeing 3 properties, or
Yeah.
yeah, 3 properties.
4.
And then the next day we
Yeah.
went and viewed a property that I had already seen at an open house, but this was Ian's first time seeing the property.
Yeah. And since half the shows on television are currently real estate house hunting shows, we figured there'd be some interest in hearing about the places that we've gone to see so far. One of which we're ready to put an offer on.
Ian's been gone, but we have been talking about places, so I've been doing a lot of research into different properties just for ideas of places that we would go and look at, and there has been a handful of places that I'm really excited about, and I thought that Ian would be excited about them too, and so, you know, definitely contenders, not just getting ideas, but going to look at places to see if this is the one. So even though we, you know, were just starting to look, the stuff that we were looking at isn't anything that we weren't already, like, dreaming about living in.
Yeah. There's a bunch of different price points, and they all bring, you know, different sizes of lots and things, approaches that we do
Yeah.
if we live there, you know.
They're
each
all, like,
completely different.
on the left or right of $1 million. But I prefer the under $1 million side of things.
Yeah.
Obviously. I think everyone can relate to that.
Yeah, everything's super expensive out here. The first place we went and checked out is one that I'm a bit more excited about than Serina.
I was super excited about it till we saw it.
Yeah. And I was not super excited about it until
I sold him on it.
Yeah. So, you know, like, we live in a dry place, and there's not a lot of spots where you could have, like, groundwater really become a factor. And this place is in, like, a floodplain, and there's a creek that goes through the back, and there's another creek that goes through, not on our property, but on the property in front of us on the other side of the road. So it's kind of like, you know, there's a lot of water down there, and the problem is flooding because, you know, there are a lot of mountains around us.
Yeah, last year this area was actually evacuated. The flooding was so bad.
Yeah.
So it, like, serious flood concerns in this area.
Mm-hmm. But, you know, we could plant a lot of stuff that would establish itself, and it would be like an actual permaculture food forest, right? There's not a lot of places that we could have one of those in, like, this region, right? So it's 6 acres. It would be like a total awesome, like, hidden secret garden place. Oh, like, it's such a cool property. But, you know, what we thought was the house when we got there was, you know, like, the house.
Yeah, when we got there, because I can work with a lot, but the house actually was a manufactured house, so it was like, you know, it didn't even look like a classic, like, double wide. I don't even know where they got these pieces, but it was definitely like a weird slapped together low quality build. So it wasn't even like, oh, you know, like, it's just aesthetics. Like, the house itself is problematic. And in the pictures it looked really nice. It looked super livable, but all the bedrooms were, you know, like, the size of a nursery.
Yeah, the kids'
like,
bedrooms were super small. And
yeah.
that wouldn't be, like, a forever thing, because there's only, like, the one main living space, really. So it's not like the kids would ever have.
Yeah,
You know,
the house wasn't big enough to make up for the bedroom spaces being so tiny.
Yeah, like, there's only room for a bed and, like, some dressers, and there's no, like, you know, space for the kids
like
to hang
a
out.
single bed and a dresser.
Yeah.
And then the door can open and shut.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing too is, with it being, like, not like a solid structure build, you know, Ian's like, oh, we could build onto it, but, like,
We could build onto it.
you could build onto it,
Yeah.
but you're not starting from quality. So
Yeah, but it would be a total different wing of the house that we'd have to.
basically, like, we'd have to spend money
Yeah.
on the house for this place, and
But
that
the property
wasn't what we were
would
thinking
be-
when we went to view it. We were thinking
Yeah.
that the money that would need to be spent on the property, dealing with with flooding and things like that.
But even still, one of the most unique pieces of property.
yeah,
And probably
and the largest piece of land
Yeah.
that we looked at,
probably
being 6
not
acres.
going anywhere for the short term. So that one's on the back burner. That one's like
Yeah,
my
that
personal
one-
number 2.
The price point on that one was $915 too.
Yeah, but they're gonna go down on that.
I don't know. We
They
don't
will.
know.
And so the next place we went to is something that's kind of like at the high end of the budget.
And this is actually the property that started us even looking at
Yeah.
further properties. This is just something that we randomly saw and got super excited about.
There's a house that's like the main house that was built in 1960, so same era as the one that we live in currently.
Yeah.
Very like livable.
Yeah,
It's like-
it's a really nice house.
the house was like what we consider the perfect space, where everybody has their own space, but then,
Yeah, not so big that you run into issues of like how do you clean it, how do you heat it,
yeah.
but everyone has a space.
But then like there's lots of communal space and like a gorgeous location.
yeah, we'll tell them what it is.
It's a 5-acre berry farm, so it's planted out already like fully with berries.
Yeah. Like completely set up to be a fully functioning, like it's been a berry farm
Yeah,
for a
years.
while. It's not.
It's got like a fruit stand. Like the shop has been converted into like a fruit stand near the road frontage. It also has a completely separate 1,200 square foot like second house, and so right there, that's like half the mortgage payment, which
is relevant to what the list price is.
Yeah.
Because that one is listed at 1.3.
yeah,
Which is out of our price point, but
we'd have to work
I
some magic.
feel that place is overpriced.
Yeah, and there's been some corrections in the market, so it's gone up and up and up, and then it's just kind of,
Yeah,
started
what
to
things
slow
were
down a little bit.
assessed at last year, everything's selling lower than last year's assessments. So even if this property, last year when they listed it, it had made sense to list at 1.3, there's a reason why it hasn't sold yet. And
Yeah, and they bought it at like
800 2 years ago.
Yeah, so they're trying to make a ton of money on
Yeah.
it. They started berry farming, and then they were like, whoa.
We figure, because that's what we figure we'd do if we were like, oh, now we have to be berry farmers.
Yeah, can you imagine? Like,
It's a lot of work for not a lot of money.
yeah. You pick something big, and it's like, okay, there, I did it. But berries are like, you're
Yeah.
just like, ooh.
And it's like, how do you get berries to market before they go bad?
Mm-hmm.
Just like a nightmare.
Yeah.
But we want to be berry farmers because we want to buy this place.
Yeah, it would be a sweet property. It's beautiful.
It's so beautiful. It's this like valley where there's like mountains on either side, and there's little peekaboo views
Yeah.
of the lake, and
It's all these like small acre farms, so everybody's got like, goats and
yeah, or
chickens
orchards or
and-
vineyards, and
It's just all like everything is just so beautiful.
yeah.
there.
So it's like standing in this house, which is like really comparable to where we are now, but with a kitchen that we don't need to renovate
Yeah.
for.
Kitchen bigger than this.
Yeah. And then like looking out at this berry farm, it was very much a feeling of like, yeah, like we could do this.
Yeah.
Like we'd be berry farmers if we could have this.
Yeah, totally. And
Yeah.
we'd transition away from berries
Yeah.
as time went on.
Yeah, like if we're gonna spend our lives someplace, it doesn't really matter what it's like now if we're gonna be there for 40 years.
Yeah.
That's a big picture.
The next place we went to was on the top of this.
Okay, you can be honest. You can tell them.
What?
Me and Ian had like big fights. There's two properties that I was like, Ian, we're gonna go look at these, and he like had been fighting me for a while.
I was like, it's a waste of the realtor's time. Like our time we can waste, but I was like, I felt bad for wasting the realtor's time, because like, it's like on the top of.
So there's two properties that I wanted to go look at that are outside of this lake country area that we've kind of set as like our perfect area
Yeah.
because it has walkability, but it's like not super far from town, and it's nice. There's stuff in the area and our price point. But there was two places that didn't have any walkability. There's two places that were like way up like the roads, like quite a drive to get to them, nothing nearby. Obviously still in like suburbs of Kelowna, zone, but far enough that it's sacrificing any aspect of walkability
Yeah.
that we talked about.
And I hate driving.
And I hate driving too. So, but I wanted to go look at them because both of these properties had like 10 acres of land, which is more than anything else that we were looking at. And they also had like way nicer like homes. Or like one of them has 3 houses as well as like barns and outbuildings.
Yeah.
And then one of them had like this
like a
crazy beautiful
swank.
home. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the one that we went to was the one that had this just gorgeous, gorgeous home.
But it's not the right place for us. The location is like horrendous. And thankfully we got there and Serena had already ruled it out because
I have one rule in looking for things, like, and I'm sure this is gonna sound like one of the craziest things for someone looking for. It makes sense for us, but it's also
Serena doesn't want to plow the snow.
Yeah, I want the house to be as close to the main road as possible. I don't want like the house like set back from the road because the last thing I want is to have to plow a driveway. Like the idea of spending like half of my life doing snow removal is like just nightmare.
We'd buy an old tractor.
Yeah, but even then, I don't want to learn how to drive. Yeah. Like, I don't want to learn how to do it.
You'd rather do it with a tractor than you would with a shovel.
Well, it wouldn't even be possible.
Yeah. And so we showed up to this place, and it was like, yes.
Yeah, it was like
the
up
worst,
a cliff,
the
like
worst possible
dirt driveway that like was washed out.
Yeah. The conclusion was that she'd probably just have to walk the driveway.
Yeah, I probably would. I was like, we don't want horses, but this is the property where we'd get horses because I'd park at the bottom and then pack the horse to carry the groceries up the road for me.
Yeah. Or just some giant dog.
Yeah,
Sleigh
donkey.
Sleigh donkey.
Yeah. Can you train goats to haul sleds?
You can't train goats to do anything. They're jerks.
I know. That's why I like them. But
So the last property that we went and looked at is the one that we're excited to try and put a bid in on. And it's very, very us.
Yeah. Okay, a bit of a backstory. So, like, Ian was still gone. We just first started talking, and there was an open house on this place. So I was like, oh, like, I'll just go out. I'll go see the open house, like, drag the kids. And I went, and the house was like, oh my God. Oh my God.
Filled with people going, ooh.
Yeah, like, it was like... I came away from it and I was like, okay, Ian, before you get excited about this place, you need to understand that this place is bad. This place is very bad. And one of the questions that like I had that I still have, I mean, we still need this clarified, but I was like, before we can get excited about like seeing this place or making an offer on this place, I need like someone to like verbally confirm for me it's not actually condemned.
Yeah, it's obviously not condemned.
Yeah. Well,
no, it's obviously not condemned. If it was condemned, then they'd have to tell you because they would know. They couldn't be real estate agents and have an open house for a house that's condemned.
Yeah, I guess people wouldn't be allowed to go into it. But my question is...
You're being overdramatic.
Okay, my question is, could we get insurance on it?
Yeah.
That's how, like... I'm like, would an insurance company make a gamble on this place?
But what's it worth, even? Like, why would we insure it?
You have to have insurance.
For what?
Just, like, for safety reasons. Anyways, that's...
So, the place is a farmhouse that was built in 1900. And they did build an extension, like a modern extension for the kitchen. So it's got like a nice modern kitchen. And then like the ground floor is like really nice and beautiful and like you just see pictures of it and you're like, oh, this is like
it looks super beautiful.
But
like a old stone fireplace, like wooden beam details.
Yeah, you get there, like, so the second floor is where things are super wonky. And like the floor is like, permanently drunk. You're just up there and you're like, this is like super wonky, right? Like, you're not used to floors that are that crooked because like how often are you in like an old building these days, right? Like everything, so all floors are nice and smooth and
and if you're in an old building, it's like an official building and there's no way you could do anything official
But
in this building.
You could find a spot in like all the different rooms where it's like you could put 4 more marbles down and like each one would roll to a different corner. Like there's some
Fast.
wonky,
It would roll fast.
yeah, like really wonky floors. And
We were up there because we were in the upstairs by ourselves, which is maybe why it felt more solid to me. Because when I went to the open house, there was a couple families who were all walking around the upstairs together, and that might have been what made me be like, is it condemned? Because we were up there by ourselves, and then Leah was like, I love it, and then she started jumping, and I was like,
yeah, like
whoa,
a
the
30
house is swaying from our 30
30-pound
pound toddler, like making a little mini jump.
jumping like this high off the ground.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the price point is pretty good.
Yeah.
And you know, we've both lived in old houses before. When we lived in Victoria when we first met, I was living in a house that was built I think around 1904. I think we looked it up one time. And yours was like same
Oh, yeah,
vintage.
same.
And like Serena's she lived in the top apartment of like a 3-story thing. And
People don't believe me when I tell this story. They always think that I'm exaggerating, but
Victoria
I'm
was
not exaggerating.
Victoria was on the coast, and so like there's like big significant wind events that would come in every now and then in the wintertime.
Yeah.
And her house would like sway so much that like the water in the toilet would like sploosh out.
It would actually splash out of the toilet. It would get swaying so much. So this isn't just I can see water movement. This is like we're on a boat. That's how bad this place was. And I didn't die. So maybe we won't die in this other old farmhouse that it will clearly sway in windstorms.
But other than the farmhouse, there's 2.5 acres of property, and it's pretty much all like farmable. It's like
Yeah, it's just this big, beautiful open space. The position of the house is like right off the road, which is perfect. That's exactly what I want. But that also means that it's not like any of the property is being sacrificed to driveway or to, awkward building, farm
And
spaces around the house.
there's a picker's cabin, like zoned picker's cabin that's on it.
Yeah, it'd be comparable to like a low barn. Is probably more like what people would be familiar with.
And it's not really like super finished inside, but just needs some drywall and
Yeah, like it could be like a 1-bedroom like living space.
Yeah.
As well as then there's like attached to the same building on the back half of it,
like a giant shop.
which Ian likes.
Yeah. And there's like a place that would be suitable for like the goat stables.
Yeah, like a barn type
like
space.
Covered space, partial inside, partial outside. And one of the downsides is that it's like next to a cherry orchard.
Which sounds like a perk as you stand there looking at all the beautiful cherry blossoms.
But they are going to spray.
Yeah, one of our concerns about being in an orchard area is, being with small children where they're spraying. Because the orchard that surrounds us is owned by one person who'd basically be our neighbor, I'm sure we could probably
Just
go
get
and
a
talk to
heads
them
up.
and be like, hey, just shoot us a text on the days that you're spraying so that we can then go inside.
Yeah.
Or, go to the park that day just to be out of the zone of when they are actually
And
spraying.
in all of these properties, especially that one, we'd probably have to spray our trees as well, like all of our fruit trees, because there is bylaws about that. And
Yeah, because all the properties that we've looked at are agricultural zoning.
yeah,
Yeah, so.
that would be the only, obviously other than that, we'd not be spraying, and we'd probably limit the number of trees that we have. But even that one had 10
Yeah, there was
cherry
a
trees
row
on
of
it.
10 cherry trees.
And there was
a couple peaches, it looked like.
hazelnut.
Yeah, there's a hazelnut. You don't have to, I don't think we'd have to spray hazelnut.
No, but just for listing the trees that have some.
Yeah, it was nice too because it's they obviously were farming the space.
That one had a big willow in the front too, didn't it?
Yeah, right against the road, there's a bunch of trees. So even though it's right up against a fairly busy road for the area, as soon as you get into the space, it feels super private because you're totally closed in from the road, and you're surrounded by this orchard, and it's really beautiful.
Yeah.
It's
right now it's just a big blank slate.
Yeah.
Because it's just a big field, and there's not really a lot going on there. So, you know,
Yeah.
that one's cool because like every acre is usable. Like,
Yeah.
you know, close to the house would be like more kid place.
Yeah,
space.
we could have like a yard.
Yeah.
Where we'd keep grass and then get rid of 2 acres of grass.
Yeah, and then past that it would be like, you know, just farm the whole thing, right? A little bit of space for the animals to, you know, kind of pasture and run around, and like have like a goat playground or something that I think would be fun.
Yeah.
Because, you know, as far as farm animal goes, like goats are definitely the most entertaining.
So cute.
Yeah.
They're such jerks, you know? Any like cats, you know, anything that can be like that unfriendly. You know?
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah, we went to see this place because we didn't have time with our realtor to go see the farmhouse.
Yeah, and they're having an open house.
So they
the
were
next
having
day.
an open house the next day, so we just went for the open house. But I was like saying to Ian after we'd gone and seen these houses, because this whole thing's been like, I mean, Ian's been like, don't stress, but it's been stressing me out because it's like there's just so many different, like I feel like I can't like. They all want energy from me. They all want like mental energy to think about, like, you know, making a choice is like so hard. And so I was saying to Ian after we'd seen the 3 and we were like ready to go see the farmhouse, because I'd seen the farmhouse and I knew that I liked it. I knew I was comfortable with it. But I was like, oh, well, like what I really hope happens is that we go and like you get to this place and you see it and you're like, yes, this is it.
Yeah.
Like just like he like has this like experience where he's just like, this is the one, like we're ready, like, you know,
Yeah.
we don't need to think about this any further other than if like we can't make it work.
Well, the thing is, it was at such a affordable price point.
Yeah, so the
That-
price point on this one is $775.
Yeah, that, you know, we can jump in there and not really owe money. So, like, it's just worth it to try for that one. So that's why we're gonna try for that one first. And you know, like I'm still excited about some of the other properties and like the opportunities, but I'm just like putting that on the back burner.
Like, so,
And-
like, okay, here. Like, what do you feel? Like, what is it that you're, like, feeling about it right now? Like, because was that your experience? That you went there and you were like, yes.
Yeah, I liked
Like-
it. Like I could live there.
But, like,
Every single one of those places.
like
we've
I'm
been.
super excited.
Yeah,
like that place, I'm like, because I, like,
Well,
when
I'm not,
I was there
I'm
the
not
first
super
time.
excited about like living in wonky floors and stuff, and having to eventually, like we talked about, eventually, like if we save up some money, we could build another house on there.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I'm not excited for all of that in the future because that's a lot of, you know, doings. But I'm like, yeah, like I don't like debt. I'm debt free. I don't want to, you know, jump back into a ton of debt if I don't have to.
Yeah.
And we can do like so much cool stuff there. And like when you like, I love our house and where we live now and stuff is fun. But you know, it's a big step up into like a different lifestyle out there. And any one of those properties, you know, you can do that. But that one you can do that and not, you know, be in tons of debt. you
Yeah.
know. But we still have enough space to do like lots of cool stuff, and we
You
don't
know, like-
we don't have the stress of
For me, it felt like I could stand in the, like, I could step out the doors of that house and stand there like looking at the property and be like, this could be a home, right? Like that, like for me that was like really like the feeling, like it just felt like this could be this like amazing home.
yeah.
Like this could be like a place,
Well-
like so like a cozy feeling.
It would
almost
it would
is,
definitely
is like what
be
I
pretty
felt.
amazing to like film videos.
Oh yeah, like
there.
this is the house that you guys would like the best. This is that, like if this was like on
'Cause
the
of
Love
all
It, if this was like one of those like house hunting shows, this would like it would be you see that house and you guys are all like, oh my god, they have to get that house. Oh my god.
Yeah.
And then the end of the show would be like, no, we actually got like the new modern build,
Yeah.
and then you'd all be disappointed because this house is just, it's funky, it's cool.
Yeah. The realtor, she's like, oh, I just love being in this house. It's got so much character. And you're just thinking to yourself, yeah, but you'd never live here.
Yeah.
You like being in it for temporary, which I'm sure anybody could go into an old house and be like, wow, I love all this like cool woodwork and like just it's so unique, and every room is like, like, oh, this sunroom and stuff, like all
Yeah.
these weird rooms, and just like
For me, the feeling of it is like so it has this like kitchen that's then open into like what would be like a seating area, because those old houses, every room's like small and closed in. So the way that the house obviously was extended onto was they took what would have been the original kitchen and then they turned that into just like an eating area, and then they built this extra kitchen. And so the layout of the kitchen is like super nice because it's this open space, and then off of that like seating area are these French doors that then lead out into like the yard basically, and then there's like a window in the kitchen at a sink where you can like look out into the yard, and I can, standing in that kitchen, I can just like imagine like being able to open up the house and have the kids out playing in the yard, and I can look out at them. And it's just this like this
maybe attach
wonderful...
like a train horn outside the button, so that anytime you see them doing something bad, you can just blow the train horn, and then they'll look over at the window and you'll stare them down.
No, but like it's just this like this cozy family feel to the space that like I didn't really feel in any of the other spaces. Like this felt like
Let's just hope we never have problems with our inner ears. Because, you could like trip on that floor. You could. It is
I'm
nasty
super excited.
upstairs.
I'm super excited. Like, when we got home, like when we left the place, and Ian's like, "Oh yeah, like, let's phone."
Yeah,
let's phone the real estate agent.
Like,
Like,
I'm totally cool with putting a bid and trying to.
yeah, like
the place.
it. Like for me, it felt like a weight was lifted. Not too much, only slightly, because I'm still stressed out because I have no idea how we're gonna figure out financing.
Yeah, it's Sunday, so.
Well, and also because it's like our house isn't listed.
Yeah.
Right? Like I don't know if these people want to work with us. Like things are gonna have to get creative, and I don't know how creative these people are gonna want to get.
Yeah, they've dropped the price on the house 3 times, and they've had 3 offers fall through because
they couldn't get financing.
No bank would finance it.
Whereas we pretty much have, after the sale of our house, we pretty much have cash or the ability to at least like get it without needing to get a mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
So we're definitely confident that financing won't be an issue. It's just our house isn't even listed yet.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've never bought a house. I've never sold a house. I don't know.
Just stay tuned to find out.
Yeah, I'm really hoping the next video isn't like me crying about the fact that hopefully it's happy video next time.
Then we can do a tour.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm super excited.
I am too. That's why I want to do this.
It's like butterflies,
Well,
It feels like love. It feels like love.
I'm not going to get that connected until.
I know, I don't want to, but it does. It's like having a crush and you don't know if it's going to be unrequited love.
Yeah.
But
that's your I want it face.
I want it. I want it bad.
Well, you'll have to see if they'll sell it to you.
Yeah.
But we should probably go in about 100,000 in under asking.
I don't think so. Full price.
Oh. Do you want to offer some more on the top?
Maybe. Depends. Depends what we need to do.
So.
Okay, you end it.
This is the end of the video. Click down below to subscribe and to join our journey, and also that like button really helps these videos pop up, so we'd appreciate it if you enjoyed the video to hit that. See you next time.